My name's Maurice Stuart, and I'm the director of the Desert Song Festival, a festival that I founded in 2013. So we're, well, strictly speaking, 10 years on the road, but we had 2 years robbed on account of COVID. So I'm a bit croaky. We've had a busy weekend. It's been a magnificent first weekend. If you weren't able to go to any of the events, I do extend a warm invitation to you to come and be involved. Well, as I stand here today, the first thing I want to do is to acknowledge the traditional owners of the Central Lands, particularly this part of the Central Lands, the Aranda people of Central Australia, and their elders, their successors, their heirs, and I want to acknowledge their long occupation of this land. I've had the privilege of having some connection with people in the Central Lands, a number of communities, and through the Central Australian Aboriginal Women's Choir, who invited me to join with them on a journey. And the journey's been a lot more extended than I thought it would be. But I want to acknowledge not only the custodians and the emerging and living elders, but I particularly want to acknowledge what they have done in preserving this country so that we, who are not Central Aranda, not First Nations, can enjoy it. It's a mixed story, and I guess in equal measure, our enjoyment of this country has been at their expense. And so I think as part of truth telling, I just want to acknowledge that. And to say as a new Australian, I want to take on board the fact that we're standing on land which was forcibly taken from people. And we have work to do in Australia to correct that. So in acknowledging the First Nations people of this area, I also want to acknowledge all the other First Nations people who are here today from across Australia. And to welcome you all to what started off as a climate and land symposium, and they just went and changed the title without even, and that's fine. So I hope you will enjoy the yarning circle. I think it was 4 years ago that I approached Professor Richard Eckard, because I was concerned about the bad wind that was blowing through our country. It started, I guess, for me, the bad news, although it was going for a while, got even worse on the 22nd of May, or was it a May election we had? Anyway, that previous one, where there was a bold, visionary message taken to the country. And the next morning I determined that every day for the next 3 years, I would make my voice heard about the greediness of the baby boomers who were voting against their grandchildren on everything. I'm a father of 4 adult children and 10 grandchildren, and I'm not happy about the world that most likely we will leave to them. My young 5-year-old grandson started telling his mother, I don't like what's going on. He said, Mama, I'm going to change the world that we've given to them. So it's out of all of those concerns that I said to Richard, I'd really like you and some of your fellow climate scientists to come to the Desert Song Festival, and we'll put on a symposium, not exactly a talk fest, but we'll put on something where your voices can be heard, because, our climate scientists have been treated abysmally in our country, abysmally. So I said, come to Central Australia, the ABC will be on it and your voices will be heard. So Richard and your colleagues make a noise this week, and it will be heard all across this country thank you for the work that you've done and in bringing your colleagues together. And I want to acknowledge the work of Anne-Marie Graham, Dr. Anne-Marie Graham, who's the person, who's the powerhouse between organizing this event. And yeah. She and Richard work together and they're a great team. But I thank you for the incredible team that you've brought to us. And I'm expecting a wonderful week of information and inspiration and genuine conversation that can be transforming, not only to us and our communities, but to this entire nation. Yes, I do have a big ambition for this little gathering here. We can change, we can change. What does Spinifex come? Dream, baby, dream. Dream, baby, dream. Yeah, yeah, we can change. And it's also at the intersection of truth, treaty, voice. Now, that's our task and that's our privilege. I do want to welcome you. This is part of a festival that's full of music and conversation, and there is a program. It's on a very prominent A-frame out there, and of course it's all over. Wherever you see that logo, you know, it's announcing 10 days of glorious music. So this is an intersection between art, music, culture, and science. And I think there are things that should belong together. You know, life is one. They should speak to each other. And that's what we'll be doing this week. So it is my great pleasure to invite you. There are 186 people who've registered for this event. I thought they'd all be here this morning, but I'm glad you're here. I thought they'd be here because my team went out and found another 70 chairs for them, but I'm sure they're going to turn up later in the week. So thank you for your welcome. Thank you for coming, and thank you for all that you will contribute, not only to this festival, but this very necessary conversation. And I wish you a great yarning circle. Thank you.